Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2's latest update has absolutely devastated the entire community with its insane lore implications. This update single-handedly ended an over 3-year-long debate amongst the community whether the Tales stories are canon to the overall game universe. And well, even if not directly stated, looks like Steelwool Studios has finally at least given us a very convincing answer. In today's video, we're going over the new Help Wanted 2 update, what was changed and added to the game itself, and what this means for the story going forward. Please, before we begin, subscribe for more content. It's super easy, supports the channel, and you'll get to see more of this little guy. Woo! And me. Sit back, relax, and let's hop into the new lore for Help Wanted 2. We begin the game as normal inside the abandoned Pizza Sim pizzeria. The main hub is exactly the same both in reality and within the Vanny AR mask. Only this time entering, Mystic Hippo has a lot more to say. Mystic Hippo gives a brief hint towards something new, and the player needs to figure out what has changed. The entirety of this update is a wild goose chase trying to solve Mystic Hippo's riddles and finding pieces of a puzzle. To begin the new update content, you have to make your way to sister location Night 2. This is the exact same level where you had to input the 1983 code to unlock the marionette memory doll. A card of Jackie, the brand new character introduced for Secret of the Mimic, is on the table in the private office above the drawer. When you input the code 1979, which was the date revealed in the Secret of the Mimic trailer, Glitchtrap's hand spawns in, gifting you the Tiger Rock plushie. The exact same way Glitchtrap handed you the other dolls. Back in the pizzeria, Mystic Hippo reveals another riddle relating to a performer on stage. Along with the newly collected Tiger Rock plush, which freakishly looks to be a downsized mascot costume, more to that later, the Mimic is now a playable character to display on the stage. Also, just to point out, the Mimic is here wearing the exact same costume at the end of Ruin, the Scooper ending. Just curious to know, when you throw food at the Mimic, a loud audible cue is activated, revealing an open door within the pizzeria. Inside, a Jack-in-the-Box is centered, and when you wind it up, Jackie's voice is heard, now spawning in a mysterious puzzle. Throughout all the levels, you must find 9 extra puzzle pieces in order to complete the double vision puzzle. After finding all the puzzle pieces scattered around minigames, the puzzle is completed with 2 sides. The first side, when you wear the mask, has a factory, or what looks to be a gift shop or a house, and while the other, without the mask, a blue van. Without the mask, a van pulls up with the Mix's device needing an access code. Putting on the Vanny AR mask allows you to see the entire facade of the factory, revealing so much hidden lore within the stained glass mirror. Using the mailbox numbers, which definitely could be the official release date for Secret of the Mimic, you can activate the device. Mixes pops out, plays the same animation as Ruin trying to escape, blah blah. Then the van's door closes and drives away. Credits play out, and that's the end of the update. So, what does this mean? There's so much information that was shown, but also so very little. Let's start with the most convincing piece of evidence implying the Tales books are canon within the game universe. The Glitchtrap plush equivalent from the original Help Wanted, Tiger Rock. This derpy looking, disgustingly adorable creature was the sole reason everybody has collectively lost their minds. Yes, to me, I believe the story within the games will play out differently than an exact one-to-one copy from the books. The Tiger Rock plushie is very suspicious as the plushie itself has a zipper on the back, almost like Steelwool is telling us Tiger Rock was a previous mascot costume. There's also the connection within the books themselves with Edwin's story and the connection with the Tiger Rock plush. So many creators have told the story of Edwin Murray and his son David and how he created the Mimic. But of course, in tragic Five Nights at Freddy's fashion, David was brutally killed by getting hit by a van. Edwin then took out all his anger and directed all of it towards the Mimic. With the way this update and even the latest update for 5 Laps at Freddy's revealing a billboard for the Murray Company, this story could very much be true for the in-game universe. Could the Tiger Rock plush actually be a mascot costume and was David's favorite, so Edwin decided to make a plushie version? Then the mascot costume could make sense that the Mimic would then go on to wear that costume. I'm gonna go ahead and stop there. I'm getting a little too much in speculation, but let's just go on to the puzzle. A simple children's puzzle was the introduction of a brand new company within the game universe referred to as MCM. A lot of online speculation and theories amongst the community have discussed MCM being an acronym for Murray Company Manufacturing. This aligns with the story and the tales from the Pizzaplex and how Edwin did in fact have a successful company, but was later bought out by Fazbear Entertainment as David's death significantly impacted Edwin's overall life. On the puzzle itself, we have a blue van in what looks to be a factory with a logo on top for MCM. MCM and the logo itself also appear on the top of the factory. Clearly, MCM created this puzzle as it's intended for a very young demographic. One thing to point out is how much the facade is reminiscent of a funhouse. The factory is by far the strangest and honestly most exciting part of the update, as it feels ripped straight out of a cartoon with its outlandish colors, funky windows, and odd structuring. The facade very much resembles a funhouse, which fits the overall carnival narrative Five Nights at Freddy's has been teasing forever, especially with the emphasis and significance of Fall Fest. My main takeaway is the stained glass, which in itself holds so much lore. A blue Bonnie, not a spring Bonnie, with what looks like either a golden Freddy or a Fredbear with a purple sparkle almost depicting ties. There's also, oddly enough, a sun, a moon, and even eclipse all featured. It's very odd how William and Henry have always been depicted as either Fredbear or Spring Bonnie, but the fact this is the normal blue Bonnie sets off every theory alarm. Observing the mural further, there is very clearly an opening in the center for possibly another character. What we do know is that there are actually more than 2 animatronics featured on here. Bonnie represents the moon and Freddy represents the sun. Above the mural is literally an entire eclipse. I'm thinking that not only was it Henry and William, but they had a third partner. Their third partner being Edwin. Edwin representing eclipse could demonstrate both characteristics of Henry and William. Below the Bonnie and Freddy is also a wagon, which in all honesty just reinforces the fact Fazbear started as a traveling circus. Hence why the building feels like a funhouse. This could all be carnival themed, which in this case implies Fall Fest. I can go ahead and make an entire video on just this mural, but that is not this video, so let's continue. We haven't even talked about the van driving off with mixes. To me, this feels very much like a crossroads of where the games are going to head. On one hand, without the reality warping Vanny mask, the van drives off with mixes, potentially representing the present time or at least the future of where the games will go. On the other hand, with the Vanny mask on, the factory stands tall, where we, the player, will go back into the past before we can continue on to the future. Quoted directly from the Secret of the Mimic trailer, Steel Wool Studios stated, "To see the future, sometimes you need to understand the past." Secret of the Mimic will be the earliest time period we, the community, have ever encountered. We need answers. Steel Wool knows it, and certainly Scott does too. Secret of the Mimic is the final connecting puzzle piece to tie the story all together from what we know today. I know my brain is very scattered right now. Like I said, there's so much revealed, yet so little at the same time, and I am just grasping to fill in a story. Also, I have to add the number specifically being 4625 has to be Steel Wool Studios giving us the release date. We know Secret of the Mimic will be released next year, but the question is when? And well, honestly, it makes sense to me that we'll still have the FNAF and Dead by Daylight DLC in summer, the FNAF 2 movie at the end of the year, 5 Laps at Freddy's, and even more books. So Secret of the Mimic being in the beginning of the year just makes sense. The access code on the mailbox is definitely the strongest piece of evidence and a very clever way for Steel Wool to subtly announce it. Between Halloween finally finding out what happened at Fall Fest, which we know burns down, and conveniently Afton's car is there the day it burns down, Jackie being absolutely terrifying and clearly either the stand-in or reason why Henry created the marionette, the mimic itself, and what is up with this factory? Was Edwin really the third partner, or was it him and Henry who started it all? Also, they all ended up losing their kids, so there's that too. There's still so much to speculate, and I promise to make a more cohesive story, one subject at a time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like, comment down below where you think the story will finally go, and well, subscribe. Bye.